This is Valley News Live at 5.
New tonight at 5, it's an emotional weekend for a Fargo man and his siblings as they remember their father who was killed when a hotel collapsed in Kansas City 40 years ago. Jeff Botnin's father, Henry, was one of the 114 people killed in the collapse, and his mother, Pat, was one of the 216 badly injured when two overhead walkways came crashing down at the Hyatt Hotel. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley spoke to Botnin this week as tomorrow will mark his first time back at the scene in hopes of finding peace and closure.
It was supposed to be a night of tea dancing and a dance competition, something that happened every Friday night and where you could most likely always find Jeff Botnin's parents, Henry and Pat.
They loved to dance.
But July 17th, 1981 is now something many refer to as the Hyatt Horror, and a night that changed Jeff Botnin and his family forever.
My mom could remember it all. She remembered hearing the pop, you know, when everything separated. She remembers falling. She remembers being under the debris.
He was just 22 at the time, but Botnin remembers it all vividly.
Someone just said, the hotel downtown collapsed. And I was like, what? And they said the Hyatt, and I knew my parents were there.
He later got a call telling him his mother was in a nearby hospital. And once there, a chaplain broke the heart-wrenching news that Botnin's father, just 51 years old, had been killed instantly in the collapse.
He loved to fish, so we'd, you know, when we lived in Kansas City, we'd come up here all the time and go stay at the lake and go fishing and camping. We did a lot of camping. He was very involved in Boy Scouts. Just a lot of fun.
Botnin's mother was badly injured, suffering a shattered vertebrae, broken collarbones, and cuts and scrapes up and down her body. But she was alive, something Botnin said her doctors chalked up to divine guidance.
He said, I cannot explain to you why your mother is alive or she is not paralyzed from the waist down. I can't explain why she isn't.
Botnin's mother went on to live another 39 years with only a stiff neck now and then as her physical reminder of that traumatic July night. She passed away in her sleep last year just before her 90th birthday. And it was around that time when Botnin says he and his siblings decided they wanted to attend this year's anniversary.
I have not been downtown to this area of Kansas City since then. I never went back down there. I never wanted to see the hotel. I never wanted to see any of that area.
Saturday will be the family's first time seeing their father Henry's name etched in the recently built memorial. The man and father, Botnin says he'll always remember for his love of flying and for the joy and laughter he brought anywhere he went. Bailey Hurley.
Before moving to Kansas City, the Botnin family lived in Moorhead, and after the collapse came back to Minnesota to settle down near the Twin Cities. The search for victims in the rubble of a South Florida condo building may be coming to a close soon. Rescue crews have recovered 97 bodies, with 90 of them now identified. 8 people are still unaccounted for. If 7 of them are matched to the still unidentified victims, that would mean crews are just searching for one more victim in the debris. Crews have not said when they expect that search to end. The search continues for the man accused of murdering his wife in Pennington County. Eric Reinbold is suspected of killing his wife Lisette last Friday. He's described as 5'7", 175 pounds, and is balding with sandy brown hair. The sheriff's office believes he's in the area and on foot. They're also asking you to check your properties for any missing items or signs that someone may have been there. Investigators held a press conference this afternoon. They've gotten dozens of tips and are working to follow up on those leads.
But I can guarantee you, we're going to continue to look until he's found. We are not giving up.
Reinbold is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911. There's a $10,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. Smoke is still lingering in some areas while others had a little rain. Now here's Nathan with a first look.
Yeah, Stacy, some areas saw some heavy rainfall last night. In fact, enough to where we have some measurements of how much rain fell in those areas. Mostly in the Larimore and McKenna areas saw the most of it, with an area 6 miles east of McKenna measuring 6.4 inches, then 4 miles northeast of Larimore measuring 6, and you can see around 5 inches in some other locations near McKenna and Larimore. Huntingford, there you can see measured 1 1/4 inch of rainfall 5 miles southwest of town there. And that was from yesterday's little isolated cell that just did not move one bit there through Grand Forks County. We have some more rainfall there in portions of the James River Valley, much needed rainfall. These are not nearly as intense or as heavy as last night's soakers were, so this is just a more low-key rainfall that we're seeing there in portions of Stutzman, Lemoore, and Dickey counties. Ellendale seeing a thunderstorm right now, some brief heavy rainfall there through Ellendale at this hour. Not severe, but maybe some rumbles of thunder in addition to a brief heavy downpour there. But really, by and large, seeing some much needed rainfall there from I-94 and points southward. Air quality, as we said, the smoke is still a factor for us tonight and tomorrow. The air quality alert has actually been shrunk in size but expanded to include Saturday morning. So it goes until noon Saturday for areas up and down I-29 in Minnesota and up along the Canadian border. So of course, Stacy, that's a factor for us this weekend, but we're tracking a hot couple days next week, and we'll break all that down in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. A man from Valley City is arrested after being accused of luring a minor from Jamestown, leading to a sexual assault. Investigators say Timothy Radke was sending sexually explicit messages to the juvenile starting in May of this year. The victim was allegedly sexually assaulted by Radke at least once. He was arrested in Valley City on suspicion of sex-related charges, including gross sexual imposition. He's in the Stutzman County Jail awaiting formal charges. We're learning more about the standoff between Fargo police and a man that took place at a hotel yesterday morning. Court documents say the police were called for a disturbance and a man who was running around the hallways yelling and breaking things. When police knocked on the suspect's door, they could hear a man's voice yelling like he was arguing with someone. Officers say Kevin Brushwine went to the door with a knife and was threatening them. He then locked himself in his room and was arrested by the Red River SWAT team. Documents say officers found a meth and a marijuana pipe in the room. His next court date has not been set. A drone was used to catch a burglary suspect. Cass County deputies got a call this morning from a homeowner who saw a man carrying a box and walking out of a trailer on the property. The homeowner confronted the man, but he ran into a cornfield. Deputies set up a perimeter and, using a drone, they were able to locate and arrest Stephen Murphy. The sheriff's office learned about a second suspect who took off before law enforcement got there. The Trail County Sheriff's Office helped, and deputies were able to locate and interview that suspect in Hillsborough. Criminal charges are being forwarded to the Cass County State's Attorney's Office. Bars and clubs in Fargo have come under more scrutiny due to several incidents lately. Recent examples come from the Old Broadway, where video was taken of a fight while a security guard at the Africa nightclub was shot and killed in late May. The Africa nightclub had their liquor license suspended by Fargo City Commissioners back on July 1st, and Commissioner Tony Gehrig says other bars should be looked at as well.
But we should also be looking at a number of other bars. I can think of 5 bars off the top of my head that should have their licenses pulled for the same reasons that we're talking about with the African bar. And that is, fighting, weapons, over serving too late, serving minors. These are all things that happen at other places.
The next City Commission meeting is set for July 26th. A man is in critical condition in a Fargo hospital after a motorcycle crash in Wilkin County last night. The Minnesota State Patrol says it happened at Highway 210 and Highway 9. They say a woman was driving north on Highway 9 and crossed Highway 210. That's when 57-year-old Scott Poirier hit the woman's vehicle. The woman was not hurt, but the man was airlifted to Fargo with life-threatening injuries. We're now learning that a fire cost around $20,000 in damages to a home in Bemidji. Officials also found $5,000 worth of personal contents were lost in that fire. It broke out early yesterday morning in the 100 block of Lincoln Avenue Southeast. Still no word on the cause. No one was hurt. Parents who were hoping to get their children under the age of 12 vaccinated by this fall will have to wait even longer. According to an FDA officials, emergency authorization for COVID-19 vaccines in younger children won't come until midwinter. The agency hopes to then move quickly to full approval of the vaccine for this age group. The FDA says it's asking for 4 to 6 months of safety follow-up data for kids under the age of 12, while it only required 2 months of data for adults. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canada could start allowing fully vaccinated Americans into Canada as soon as mid-August for non-essential travel. The Prime Minister added that if Canada's current positive path of vaccination rate continues, the border can open. Trudeau says Canada should be in a position to welcome fully vaccinated travelers from all countries by early September. Hot temperatures and sunny skies are sticking around. Later on Valley News Live at 5, what you need to know to protect your eyes.
And if you're heading out to the fair tonight or just have your Friday evening plans, the skies will stay clear outside of that haze that we've been seeing. South wind around 10 miles per hour, cooling into those lower 70s by about 11 o'clock or so. Then in Grand Forks, also expecting mainly clear skies for this Friday evening. Perhaps a little bit cooler there, around 70 by 1 a.m. But we'll break down your full weekend forecast next.